We are here today with author Amanda Perry talking a little bit about her newest book, Walking Miracles. So, thanks for joining us today, Amanda. Could you tell us just a little bit about your book?
So my book is based off of traumas I experienced throughout a 20-year time period, essentially, or well, 30 years. Um, and I just go through like what major impacts like I had because I ended up dealing with severe depression and suicidal ideation, and a lot of it pushed me into that. And I want to trying to get like it was my way of working through what I went through. And I ended up going through way worse in relationship problems and stuff like that in the book. And I like my way of working through the trauma that I was going through was to write it out. And a lot of the things that I went through aren't they're criminal, but I can't bring them to the justice system to do anything about because it's either time has passed or it's not severe enough for it to be considered criminal.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, thanks for sharing with us. So, it sounds like, and that was going to be the next thing I asked. It sounds like a little bit of your inspiration, and you can elaborate on this, but just kind of to use your story as a platform to maybe help others that are going through something similar. Is that kind of what your inspiration in writing this was?
yeah, so in my book I talk about like um things like I went through, and like there's a part where I talk about suicide, and it's a choice. I know suicide's a choice. I made that choice like a long time ago and I survived. I'm trying to get people, my readers to go, do you want to be a statistic one day? Like
Yeah.
that's the choice you're making. You're just going to be a number. You're just going to be a like gravestone. Like you're just going to be something that you aren't today. Like, is that what you really want? To be nothing essentially versus like what you are right now. Like, and if you consider yourself as nothing, which I did during that time, like I also like try and walk through how can you see yourself as something different? Like, because you have to do that. Like, you can't like work through it and like have somebody else force that on you. You have to work through it yourself and force like make change your mind versus like to have somebody tell you to change your mind.
Yeah, that's powerful. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, no, that's great. You're inspiring me to get out there and grab a copy of your book and dive in. I want to know more about your story. Last question for you today, for your audience. What else would you like them to know, or what's something you might want to tell our audience today?
There's a lot of stuff that happens in today's world that a lot of people aren't aware of. And towards the end of my book, I talk about my medical stuff. And because I was diagnosed with a mental health condition, a lot of my actual medical stuff was declared mental health. And every time I went to go seek medical treatment for something that was going on, I was dismissed.
Hmm.
And I'm like, and it doesn't just happen to me, it happens to a lot of people who have a mental health condition, which is why people stop getting treatment for mental health. And my way of like writing about that part is to normalize what doctors are doing to hopefully make change for what they are doing, the system's doing. Because you can't change something unless people who are going through it start making awareness to not just the people that are doing it to them. Because the people who are doing like violent things to you, you can tell them that you're doing it all day. Like you can tell them all the time that they're doing these violent things to you. But that's not going to change anything because they're going to be like, well, no, I'm not. That's your word against mine.
Hmm.
It's getting other people involved and telling your story to other people and it's going, this is really going on. That's what makes the difference, is getting other people involved, because like one person can't change anything. Like it's just one person's story against somebody else's. And in my case, I'm working against like the biggest hospital in my area that's doing this thing. It's my word against this big, huge industry that's taken over.
Yeah.
How, like, it's stopping something that is well stop with one person.
Yeah.
So,
So it sounds like it's a little bit of a guidebook too. And if you're like me and interested in grabbing Amanda's book, it's available not just as a paperback, but also as an ebook, or you can grab it on iTunes, through Barnes and Noble, through Amazon. But get out there, grab a copy of this, and it sounds like it's not just something that you read through once and put down, but can be a resource and really a guidebook. And so, Amanda, thank you so much for joining us today. We're excited to have you and appreciate you joining us.
thank you.
Thank you.